Hi everyone, Namaste everyone. I am Meenakshi. Those of you do not know, I am very much interested in learning spirituality and exploring conscious living. So this I do apart from my regular IT job, and out of my curiosity, I have started this podcast with the people who also believe and practice the same. So joining me today is Mahua, who is a personal transformation coach and founder of Matritva. So Mahua will tell us what is conscious parenthood, what is manifestation, how conscious parenthood can bring about changes in the new life, and lot of other interesting things. Please welcome Mahua, founder of Mahua Life Sciences and Matritva. Hi Mahua.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you for inviting me for today's podcast. It's really, good to see you after a long time. And let me tell you, we have been acquaintances for a long time, and we share similar kind of interests. So I hope this conversation is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, let's get started because our audiences are waiting. So to start with Mahua, so you started your journey to serve people, as I know you from last 15 years, and you are very passionate about serving people. And you started your journey towards people transformation coach or personal transformation coach, and currently you have launched this program Matritva. So how it is connected, or how you have changed the stream, or is it connected? If connected, how why you have changed, or what is it all about?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, but Matritva actually did not start recently. The program has been, or the work has been going on for many years now. So actually, like you said, I work in the personal transformation area for people to help them through therapeutic interventions and different kinds of coaching, whether life coaching, relationship, career, or leadership, and all of that, right? So, but it is all at a very deep subconscious level. And I use different modalities like hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, neuroscience, and various other modalities to work with clients so that these changes are very, very permanent in nature. Now, how did I move into Matritva? I did not move into Matritva. Matritva is another, I would say, vertical under Mahua Life Sciences. So one of the vertical, of course, is the therapeutic intervention and the personal transformation, and the second vertical is Matritva, which is a premium conscious pregnancy program. Now, when I had been working last 12-13 years, while I've been working with different people in these areas, there had been a very striking pattern that I have observed over time. Because I had been working with adults mostly, and a lot of time what emerged is that the adults that I've worked with come with certain emotional trauma, certain behavioral challenges and issues. On the outside, things might be picture perfect, but they are very broken from inside. They're not able to cope up with the life challenges. And when I tried to trace back the root cause of these issues, a lot of time what I saw is that these issues are traced back to a time when they were in the womb of the mother. And that was initially something very, very strange, because we do age regression. Apart from past life regression and all, we do age regression, and a lot of time they were experiences, very distinct experiences that was expressed by the client, during the therapy sessions. And when I tried to see that there is a pattern, initially I tried to dismiss it, but when I saw these patterns emerging, that is where my interest got deeper, and I got intrigued with understanding this aspect of life. So I started to study our Vedas and other ancient texts, where one of my guru was, I had the privilege of working under some of the really renowned gurus, late Professor Ariel Kashyap. He's a Padma Shri awardee, and he has the privilege of translating all the 4 Vedas into English. He's the first in the world. So when I went to him and I asked, so he explained me, the nurture and nature, what is the interplay between them, and how these 9 months in the pregnancy profoundly impact the soul in the womb of the mother. It's not just after the birth as we believe. And then I started to understand the ancient wisdom of Garbhasanskar, what the ancient text has said. But being a logical person and coming from a science background, of course, I wanted to understand it from an evidence perspective and neuroscience and the modern science psychology perspective. So then I started reading the prenatal psychology and other things, epigenetics and other things, and all of them pointed to this one thing, that yes, this time of 9 months of pregnancy has a very deterministic impact on the baby in the womb of the mother, and to a large extent it decides the life scheme of things that's going to happen to the child after the birth. So then I thought, let's work at the root of the thing, let's work at the origin of the thing. If we can work at that level, then of course, the baby itself who is getting born is a healthy, intelligent, virtuous, not just that, but emotionally more resilient. And then
conscious soul,
and we can evade a lot of these things which the people are facing today in adulthood. So that was the correlation.
Okay. I before going more into matritva or many other things which we will talk, I would like my audience to know a bit more about you. So as I knew you from so many years now, 15 or maybe more than that, I think 17 years or 18 years, I know that you had a thriving career at a very good product company, and you had everything that a normal IT person can wish for, and you had everything. Still, you have chosen this path of serving people and doing something to improve things at the larger level, or where it means a lot. So how this transformation in yourself came? Because when we have a fixed income, we generally don't think to switch. And I also know that last year you have quit your job to full-time work into this transformations and matritva and all. So was it a difficult decision for you to step into all these things, life sciences, transformation, and then completely move out of this thriving IT career and take this in a full-time basis? So is it how it came, and is it a challenging decision?
Well, honestly, it was a very challenging decision for me, and I have been contemplating this for at least 2-3 years actively. What should I do? And before I even come there, let me tell you a little bit about myself, my background, so that you can stitch the dots. So basically, as you know, I come from an engineering background, and it's been like 24 years into this IT industry, which is really a big time. And people get into that, comfort zone, like you said. But in year 2013, there were some very challenging times that I had to undergo in my life, when I lost my only brother very suddenly. And soon after that, within less than a year, I also lost my father, where he met with a traumatic brain injury accident, road accident. and he was in coma for almost 5 to 6 months. And so these episodes in my life actually made me look at life in a completely different perspective. So first of all, I was in a state of denial. I did not accept death as it is, especially after my brother's death. And I started to question the deeper aspect of life. Is life only from birth to death, or is there something beyond that? And that quest led me to my spiritual journey also, and all the learnings that I've had since then. So I started my journey with Reiki healing. And then I started to understand the soul, the evolution of soul, the journey of soul. I did my soul realignment studies, Akashic records, and thereon it just went on for a lot of things like clinical and spiritual hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, leadership coaching, and so on and so forth. But what I'm essentially trying to say is I was doing all of this to get to the deeper level of understanding life. This was one way where you have all these external courses and mentors who are teaching you more about life. On the other side, I personally started having a lot of changes in me. I started having some metaphysical experiences myself, which was very hard to explain also to others, because people will not understand this in the common language, right? And that is where I was desperately searching for a guru. And I had met one very close acquaintance, which I feel that I have past life connections with, and this person is a very close person, is quite elder to me. He said that you do not have to find a guru. If you are ready, the moment you are ready, अगर तुम्हारे अंदर पात्रता है, गुरु अपने आप तुम्हारे लाइफ में अपीयर करेंगे. Not 1 second more, not 1 second less. And so if you don't have to go for searching. And that is just after that, and my meeting with my guru is another big episode. I'll talk about it maybe sometime later. But what I'm saying is I was initiated into Kriya Yoga, and by a living master, and that again changed my life to a great deal. And on the side, when I was doing all of this along with my corporate job, all these changes were happening in my life, right? And it was like unfolding each layer of me. It was like getting me from gross to subtle. So I could feel those changes. My entire perspective towards people, towards life, towards situations changed. From a victim mindset, I started to become I started to feel empowered. And that is where it struck me that if I have gone through this and suffered through this and learned this way, what if I could bring that difference in somebody else's life? Because I have known that path, I have walked that path, I have lived through that experience. Now I can then help others, without them have to suffer so much. So then I started opening myself up to serve the clients that I do through therapeutic interventions and coaching and other things. And that went on, Meenakshi. And what made me really change, I told you it's a very difficult decision. Instances like a person whom I have coached. The person has taken the coaching contract got over. After 1 year, I get a WhatsApp message from the person saying that, Mahua, I am donating 21,000 rupees in your name to this orphanage. Out of nowhere. I was not even in contact with that client. It is over. It was like I was still for some time. I could not really express, because it is a big thing. I have some corner of the world is wishing me this, is wishing me good, perhaps because he has got that value from me, right? That is why that was very difficult for me to even sink in. And then I went with that. There was another episode when there was a doctor who came to me for a therapy session way back in 2017. She was going through a very tough marriage life and on the verge of divorce because the husband had extramarital affair. And this lady came for me for therapy, and we did the therapy and it got over. After 6 years, she calls me and says that, Mahua, my life is changed after that. My husband has come back. We are having a very fulfilling family, and I'm so grateful that I want to thank you. After 6 years, what can justify this? Does any amount of pay package, does any amount of strategic meetings with the big bosses, or working with the biggest marquee clients in the industry, or a particular level designation that I've been working for, justify this in any way? Or the latest technologies, even if I'm working for, what would be more fulfilling for me? So then it started, and there were many such situations, and that really intrigued me and provoked me that yes, there is something else to this life. You cannot keep going with this, so you have to have some kind of exit from here, and from the highway there has to be some exit to another road that is leading to your purpose of life. And that is what I that is why I decided to step away from my role and job.
So is that happened through manifestation, or is that just kept on happening? So my question is, like, do you believe in manifestation, and are these things kept on happening because you manifested it, or you got a kind of signal from the universe that yes, you are meant to do this, or how it is? And please explain if you believe in manifestation.
See, manifestation, these are principles of nature, the principles of universe. We have given it a name called manifestation in the modern world, but this has been there. Okay, it's all the principles on which the universe works. And how does manifestation work? When you are a vibrational match to the desire or the intention, which we call sankalp, right? So the moment there is a vibrational match, you become. So you don't need to ask for anything, because you become that, and that is what you get. So it's a natural frequency match that happens. You don't have to externally ask, beg for something. That is what manifestation, according to me, is. And how does this happen? It is basically the emotional certainty. Manifestation is not about intentional thought. It is about the emotional certainty, and that is the game changer. The play is exactly here where most people mess up with, right? Because they think that of course it all starts with an intention, but it is not about the intellectual thought that yes, if I think this way, then things will change. Or if I think positively, there's nothing called positive or negative. Absolutely. It's what lens you are looking at that thing. The context is what you put in through your perspective, right? There's nothing called, if there is a gun, there's a person with a gun, somebody might think him as a terrorist, the other person might think him to be a soldier. So it's the lens by which you look at it. It is that what you get out of that, right? So manifestation, I'll give you one example. Yes, I mean, because I have felt this very, very closely. So even my job at Oracle is through manifestation, Meenakshi, and I tell you how this happened. Okay, so I was working for a very big entertainment major, gaming major in Canada. So I was located in Canada, Vancouver, and I was with my work. The client was, I was in a customer site, and they were so happy with my work that they actually nominated me for their annual conference, financial conference that happens in Redwood City, California. Electronic Arts was the client. Okay, and when I so they took me for the 4 days paid trip to California. And we were put up in a hotel called Sofitel, and this I'm talking about in 2007, okay. We were put up in a hotel called Sofitel. So I had no clue about Oracle that time. I mean, I knew about Oracle, but I just had met one friend, colleague, I mean, somebody who had worked for Oracle, and he was praising Oracle a lot that time. So when I was in that hotel room, 7th or 10th floor, I was morning before the conference, I was just sipping coffee after I woke up from the bed, and I was just looking outside the window, I remember. And the Electronic Arts campus is a huge campus. There's a lake, and just on the other side of the lake was the Oracle headquarters, you know, the Redwood City. And from my window, I was able to see both the campus so clearly. And that sipping, I was in a very carefree kind of a mood. I was very confident inside, and I was in a very, very good state of mind. And I just looked at it, and I just thought, one day I'll work for Oracle. And believe me, and I forgot about it also. But there was that few seconds, there was this real feeling that yes, I'm working for Oracle. And then you know, we came back, and then I came back to India because I was getting married. And suddenly, after a couple of months after I came back to India, there was a call from Oracle, hiring manager. And I was that time working for Hyperion in technology, you know, data warehousing, data business intelligence. And I got a call from them, and then they asked me that, are you looking for a job change? I said, no, I am not looking for a job change. In fact, I have not been. So they somewhere have seen my CV, and I said, but yeah, I mean, so would you like to explore? I said, yeah, why not? And then they set up the interview. Believe me, how manifestation work, and the universe, like we were talking just before this, that the universe conspires to make it happen if you are really, really, you know, focused on that. And so the interview day, there was some kind of a earthquake which happened in Bangalore, okay. So and then I thought, okay, let it be, because I was so casual about that interview. I was doing very well that time in Satyam. And I said, I called this person, I said, I'm not coming, because they said, okay, yeah, we will cancel, we will reschedule. And she was just after me, okay, she rescheduled that. I said, okay, fine. And then I went, okay. And then this interview went on. I had, it went, I mean, it was okay, but it was not very great. It was good. I thought, okay, होने से भी अच्छा है, नहीं होने से भी अच्छा है. I walked up अपना खुद के धुन में, and I told them a salary package which they cannot match. Okay, so it's okay. I mean, because I was so comfortable with my original company, I was so good there. You know, I got everything there, a lot of respect and a lot of progress and growth. So, and then to my surprise, you know, after the HR discussion, I get a mail suddenly one day that we are processing your offer letter, and they paid actually more than that what I asked for, which was like a real, I would say it's just manifestation, because that moment, that, you know, second, the emotion, the intention, and the desire maybe, and the purpose, everything matched so well together that it just happened like that. Okay. So without putting any effort. So manifestation, yes, I mean, I totally believe in that. It's just that new names, new ways to apprehend and comprehend that.
Okay, I will not go much into manifestation and all, because this is all about conscious living and more about conscious pregnancy and parenthood. So I will come back to my original subject. So in the context of karma, do you believe that there is a soul level agreement between the child and the mother? Do you believe anything such happens and then the child is born?
Well, absolutely. So what happens is basically the soul, the child's soul actually selects the parents, because that's a karmic connection. So I mean, since you have asked about karma, I just want to touch upon this a little bit. So see, there are three kinds of karmas, okay? And karma is again a principle, it's a law, okay? We are all governed by, it's a law of cause and consequence. It has nothing to do with bad luck, good luck, or God being disappointed with us, that's why we are suffering and all of that. It is absolutely, it's just our actions and our consequences, and it can span through multiple lifetimes. So karma is of basically three types. The first one is sanchit karma, which is the accumulated karma of all lifetimes till now, okay? Now that is the superset. You can think about it like a superset. Now out of this we have prarabdha, which is our activated karma. And prarabdha is something that is ripe. It's like a fruit which is ripe, it has to drop, so it has to happen, okay? So birth is one such karma, okay? It is a prarabdha, because during birth, to go through that karmic process or that karmic journey, the soul has to select the right parents and the right home for him or her, right? So that is why this process, like you said, it is very much that it happens. Now about the soul contract, yes, generally the parent and the child would have met in some capacity in other lifetimes. Okay, so somewhere the soul knows each other, and that's why the soul knows both, even the parent's soul, they know at a subconscious level. Okay, maybe consciously we do not understand, we cannot really logic it, but they know somewhere that through these set of parents only, if I take birth, then I can live through my karmas and neutralize them and progress further. The parents also will provide that kind of environment to the child which will make that happen. Now that doesn't mean the parent has to be very good. It could be a very cruel parent, it could be a very torturous parent, it could be that the parent is very authoritative, where the child is learning those karmic lessons in a different way. It could be that the parent is very supportive and the child is then propelled to the next level very easily. So it's all karmic journey that the child has to go through. And what happens is, this child, before even coming to the womb of the mother, okay, after the conception, I mean after the mother is pregnant, the soul is still not entered the womb, okay? This happens in the 4th month of pregnancy. So then you might ask that, okay, how do we get the heartbeat through Dopplers in the 8th, 7th, 8th week and all that? Heartbeat is a physical activity of a body, okay? So it's like, you can think, so soul has already selected the parent. It has like a reserved seat there, but it is still not inside the body completely. It comes and goes, and it watches over. It is always, so when the expectant couple, not just the mother, it's with the father also. It is all around. So we cannot see because they are in a different dimension, right? They are not in the 3-dimensional thing. So the soul of the baby is already in that room with the mother, with the father, even before the child is born. It is looking after, it is watching how the parents are behaving, how the parents' activities are, where it is still, there is time for the soul to exit, to even revert back. Okay. So it is that powerful. But after 4 months, it becomes permanent. Like, in a bus or in a train, how, if there is a lot of rush, from the window we put a hanky, right? That this is my seat, so that nobody else comes and takes that seat. But that doesn't mean that I will go and sit there, right? Until I really physically board the bus or the train and go sit there. So it is like that. And till 4th month, the soul has the choice to exit. That's why you see a lot of miscarriages. You see a lot of abortion. I mean, abortion in the sense, the parents themselves are not able to match that frequency. And that's why they will abort the baby, terminate the pregnancy. Even after birth, so this till that time it happens that way, but sometimes, we've seen that it's found that after birth also, let's say they have started with the right note, but during pregnancy, let's say the father completely changed, okay? So the karmic thing, they thought, okay, this is the right set of parent, I can get, I can take birth from them. But let's say the father gets into an extramarital affair, okay, in between, or something dynamic, some dynamic changes. Now the soul finds that this is not the right place for me, but it has already been into the body. It cannot exit abruptly. So then, what it does is, you have heard about stillbirth, right? Stillbirths. So the baby is born dead or still, which means that no life.
Okay.
So at that stage also they can exit. So
Oh.
it's a very profound, it's a very mystical, divine thing. It is beyond biology, Meenakshi.
And it's very powerful
It is
too.
very powerful.
Very
It is
powerful.
very powerful.
Okay, at the soul level, they can select, they can exit, they can decide the time also.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we see the pregnancy, it happens before date
Before
or
time.
after date also.
Yes, yes.
So-
Those are the planetary connections. So these are all prarabdha that I was
Okay.
talking about, the second level of karma. And just to complete that aspect, the third one is your, they call as kriyaman or agami karma. That means it is what you're doing now and creating karmas for the future. It will all go and sit in that sanchit karma. That is the accumulation, right? So agami karma is every moment, because as we are living life, all we are doing every moment, we are doing some karmas, right? Which is again having a good and bad, whatever, cause and effect. So that is the third karma.
Okay. Okay. Talking more about the spirituality and karma. So if a parent or if a couple is coming with a lot of baggage, karmic baggage, as we say, and they they have conceived and they want to go for delivery and all, so is there a way that they can cleanse that baggage and have a very very powerful, very good parenthood journey, so that the baggage do not impact the child and the family? Is there a way to cleanse it through spiritual ways or your system?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no to this answer, because we can do that partially. Now, depends on what kind of karmic imprints are being carried. So we cannot really, because karmic karma has to be lived through. The only way we can reduce karma is through awareness and through the response, because those situations will arise in life for sure. But the suffering can be reduced. How? Because I can then choose with the same situation, I can choose to respond differently. Okay. So two different people, let's say two people have lost their job. Okay. So one person is let's say he or she becomes very bitter out of it. Okay, that why, and keeps questioning. The other could be that, okay, this might be for a reason, there is some learning for me, and so I will reskill myself, I will upskill myself, I will retrain myself, I will also do a self retrospection to understand maybe this job was not good for me, or I have a different purpose of life, or there was a misalignment, or maybe something good is in store, and so there is that person attempts life in a completely fresh perspective, leaving the baggage behind. So there are two ways. So what happens then? Same thing has happened, but karmically, if you look at it, karmically same situations has occurred in both persons' life. But what the other person, first person, chose to do is live with those karma and get into more suffering. The second person chose to respond differently, okay, and chose a different path altogether, and that reduces the suffering, that reduces the karmic baggage. So this is how. And so for parents also the same thing, Meenakshi, because see, everything starts with awareness and conscious, like you are pointing out, conscious living. That is exactly the point that I try to make to people, that live consciously. You cannot just get swayed with the life situations and let life control you, just move on with life from birth to death. You cannot follow the crowd. You take time to pause for self introspection, for self retrospection, to understand even if I'm going in the right direction or not, or you're just moving. So movement does not mean progress. This is again something that I always say. You are moving in opposite direction, your goal is somewhere else. So movement does not qualify as progress.
Okay.
You need to move in the right direction to make progress in life. So for parents also, I say that cleansing and purification is very important. if you are planning for a family. So it has to be, not just your physical body through diet and supplements and ensuring that you are disease free, but, take Panchakarma treatments. Ayurveda has beautiful treatments, right, which cleanses the body, purifies. And then you can also, try to maintain your mental state through good, activities, listening to good music, do some spiritual practices like meditation. And so that way you are cleansing your levels of your being, and you are conjugating in a right spirit with the right thought in the right moment, so the chances of again inviting the right soul or attracting the right soul becomes much more higher.
Okay. My following question is just the next point which comes in a mother's life. Like, okay, suppose I do conscious conceiving, or before conceiving, a mother is conscious about all these things, and during the 9 months of pregnancy, if the mother practices conscious pregnancy, as you said, like going through good books, good music, and spiritual practices, does that also incur very good vibes in the child which she is carrying, and bring a very child, she can bring up a child with a very good temperament? Does that have impact on the child also?
Of course, and that is the whole purpose of all of this, right? So we have heard about the 7,000 years old, Garbha Upanishad and our Vedic text. You've heard the stories of Prahalad and Arjun, your Abhimanyu and all of that, right? But today, modern science is proving that through epigenetics, through prenatal psychology, through FOD, fetal origin of adult disease, where, whatever, if the mother is, let's say, starving herself during her pregnancy time, there has been a lot of research. So they did some research in a famine hit area, okay, and where the mother was not malnutrition, could not eat properly. The child born, it's not just about unhealthy child, it's about the disease that the child can get when the child becomes an adult. So they are more, they have more chances of getting heart diseases, asthma like breathing diseases and things like that. We have seen that stress and anxiety has a very, negative impact on the fetal. Not occasional, of course, everybody is stressed and anxious to a certain extent. I'm not talking about occasional, but if it is a regular pattern, then that moves through the hormonal, the neurotransmitters, the hormonal changes happen, and through the neurotransmitters is entered through the bloodstream to the placenta, and it can impact the baby. So the baby is now growing in an environment, womb environment, which makes him feel unsafe, insecure. So the emotional imprint that the baby will carry is that the world is not a safe place. I have to always be on alert, because everywhere there is anxiety and stress. I have to be hyper alert. So the person can go through a lot of anxiety disorders, or let's say even ADHD, because they are seeking that focus. They are not able to focus. They are not in that calm state. They are that hyper alert state. Even for that matter, alcohol and any kind of addiction, smoking, that again has a lot of influence on the the fetal growth, because I would say negative impacts, because again, preterm delivery, a lot of NICU admissions, then they have breathing difficulties, and so there are a lot of things which impact the baby, and these are proved by modern science now very well.
Okay, coming back to your matritva. So matritva is in itself is a very heavy word, right? So as you said, it is all about conscious pregnancy. So how do you define the difference between a standard pregnancy and conscious pregnancy, or conscious pregnancy planning as well?
Okay. Yeah, so that is the differentiator. You see a lot of programs today, Meenakshi, there are pregnancy coaches, and My point and my only advice or suggestions to the viewers is that pregnancy is a very vital period, and it is a non-reversible period. So these 9 months, the clock is ticking, and every month that you progress, you cannot get it back. In fact, every moment that you cannot get it back. Anything else in life you can reclaim, at least, there are possibilities, but this is something which cannot be. So you have to be extra mindful on what you are adopting to. And today there is so much information overload. It is very difficult for a mother to really figure out what to go for, what not to go for. And especially with modern days, you are navigating a completely different world. The expectant parents are in a nuclear setup where they do not have the elderly advisors, they don't have the mothers and grandmothers and mother-in-laws with them. So they are already anxious, plus the workload, not just the workload, the emotional load that they are carrying, the lifestyle issues that they are facing, the already adulterated food that they are consuming, the environment, the pollution. I mean, everything is an external noise, right? So my suggestion is, you cannot manage the external world, but what you can do is you can really manage, and you can really maneuver your internal world. Okay, and that is where we step in, and that is why we call it Premium Conscious Pregnancy Program. It is not for everybody. Because we understand that for everybody, now no judgment here. Everybody is good and well in their own space and own thought process. But my point is this: people who understand, who have this deeper yearning to give the good sanskars, instill those good values in the child when the child is in the womb of the mother, to ensure that they give the right beginning to the child when the child is in the womb of the mother, to give them the right environment with respect to emotional safety, physical safety, neurological safety, because there are 250,000 neurons which is getting formed every second in the brain of the baby. So imagine the connections which is happening, and imagine the imprints that they are catching up during that time. And that's why I say fetal conditioning is much bigger than the educational conditioning that you can do. Because if you really work on the seed, it is much easier than working on the plant. So yes, I mean, that is why the Matritva program is an amalgamation of neuroscience, ancient wisdom, bringing together a holistic approach. We are not, we are not just yoga, or we are not just doing, lamas, or we are not just doing breath work. We are bringing together, this is a distilled knowledge of 12 years of work and research that we have done, where we are bringing together, the entire nervous system reset. We are trying to scan your body and heal those trapped emotions and traumas, which is rooted maybe, much much before than you have realized it has started affecting you. Then we work on music, mantras, ragas. We work on whole brain development of the baby. We work on a lot of meditation and visualization. Again, everything at a very deeper level, identity level shifts, and also repatterning the subconscious belief system, where these kind of baggages and these kind of past issues are all addressed. We have a very small cohort, just 10 to 12 mothers, because it's very personal, and it's like a rhythm. It's not a program, it's not a workshop, it's not a training. It's like a rhythm where the mothers step into it and start flowing with it, because we believe every pregnancy is unique in its own way. And that's the essence we want to maintain here. Every mother has a different dream for their baby, right? They are looking at their baby, their life in a different light, and we want to make that dream come true for that mother. That's why it's a very closed group. We cannot accommodate a lot of people. It's cohort based, so we have to wait till the next month. And here the thing is very deep, so you don't have to go for doing hundreds of different things. You can sleep peacefully in night by just doing this one thing, because it's a regular thing. We have 12 sessions online. Everything can be taken from the comfort of their home. So in a month we have 12 sessions, three sessions every week, 1 hour each, and the mothers can take it from the comfort of their home. They can go through this. We cover everything in each session, and it's a pattern. So within 1 month they will feel a lot of difference. If they want, they can always repeat for the second month, but within 1 month they will be already programmed that they will lead a lifestyle which will help them throughout their pregnancy journey.
Okay, while you were talking about conditioning the mind and all those things during pregnancy, one thing came into my mind, that the entire pregnancy journey, for a lot of couples, it also brings fear and anxiety, because it is something they, especially for the first baby, because they will be experiencing it for the first time, so they come with their own set of fear and anxiety. And so how is your program take care of transitioning their fear and anxiety into conscious parenthood, and give them assurance that this fear, and because in this modern world, when they have nobody to support, and they are both husband and wife working and staying in city in a nuclear family. So, and that's why I always think that's why maybe the fear and anxiety is more, because earlier days we had a big family, and somebody will say support that I also had the same thing, don't worry, and everything will go right. But here, the modern world we live in is completely different. We have their own set of work, stress, emotional stress, and so targets, and so many other things. And then pregnancy again creates a lot of other kind of fear and anxiety. What is happening to my baby, and what should I do, all those things. So how this your program transition them into bring them bring confidence into the pregnancy journey, and make their journey more comfortable and pleasant.
Yeah. This is, I did some surveys also with a lot of expectant couples, okay, to understand what are their fears and apprehension, why do they fear, because a lot of people today, modern couples, are opting out of pregnancy, and this is a very sad state. Again, I'm not judging anybody, of course this is their voluntary decision, but my only point to them is, are they doing that out of fear, or is it a real voluntary decision? If it is a voluntary decision, I'm absolutely fine, because that's their preference and choice. But if it out of fear, because we have been since ages, and not just in India, everywhere in the world, pregnancy has been so what do I say,
blessed.
Blissful. Not blessed, opposite of that actually. So it has been so it has been told in such a dramatic manner that it is such a painful journey. You have to go through there's a lot of pain. It's like a rebirth, and and all these movies and magazines have further dramatized it, right? So and every next person you meet, the neighbor or your friend or colleague, your sister, everybody would tell their experience. So my point is this: see, everybody's pregnancy journey is very different and unique. The overwhelmed part of the thing is actually doing more harm than good, because most of the people, with the right reason, with the good intent, they are sharing their experiences, but that experience may not be true for this person, and you are unnecessarily causing fear in that person, instilling fear. And that is where my problem is. And you see, even for the couples, when I first counsel, I also talk to both the couples together in one of the sessions. So I actually try, I say that this is the creative force given by the divine, okay? Every mother, every woman is blessed by this creative force, okay? It's such a natural thing. It's the nature which takes care of itself. You just have to be aware and conscious that you are doing it in the right way, but you don't need to absorb all the noise around you and become so overwhelmed with that. It's a very simple thing. It's a simple process. it's only the extra noise that makes it so complicated, Meenakshi, and most of the time that is the reason. Because it's a beautiful journey, and just stay with it, just be with it, because somewhere deep down, intuitively, every mother knows how to navigate her pregnancy journey. Okay, it need not be taught. It comes from within. That is the body's intelligence. That is the soul level intelligence, that every mother knows how to protect the baby, how to take care of it, how to go through this journey. It's only that we are equipping that mother with the right resources so that she feels supported. She doesn't feel alone, because already she is dealing with a lot of things herself. There are a lot of changes happening. So we are just supporting her emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and providing that space so that she can be just herself, without any judgment, without any fear, without any next thought. She can just be herself, and that's the rhythm that we want her to get into.
Okay, since you talk about support and all, right, so I understand that during that 9 months journey, support plays a very big factor,
yes.
major role in shaping the pregnancy journey and even after. So what if somebody comes where they are not so spiritual, and at the same time they don't have time? You want to support, and but they are not they are not ready for they don't know anything, and they need so is that very busy life. So can your system support those kind of folks as well? And the second question is, there will be people where they don't get support from the family, even from the husband, right? So in that case, does your program help?
Absolutely, and that is the whole crux of this Matritva program. Like I said, this is a 60-minute, just 1 hour, okay, in the whole day, and that also not every day. It's just 3 days a week. And you can do it from the comfort of your home, because today we know that travel is an effort, especially with working women, and for every woman during especially pregnancy with traffic and everything. So it's online, it is from the comfort of your home, and you are in a community of few other mothers just like you. That's a great support itself. And then we meet together in the 60 minutes. We do each of these things, right? We start with the intention, we start with a prayer, we start with a body navigation and scanning. We do all of this, and by the end of the day, end of the hour, you are already in an uplifted space. And when you go to bed, you know that, forget about I have not read a book. You will not be competing against anybody. So tomorrow, if your colleague in your office is saying, did you read this pregnancy book, or did you go to this Lamaze class, or did you go visit this best gynecologist in the town, it will not bother you. You know that whatever you are doing the right thing, and that is enough. Because it's just like Pareto, 80-20 principle. You are doing
the right 20 things.
Right 20 things which will cover up for this 80% of the things. So that is that. So you are sleeping at peace. No more worry that I'm doing the right or enough or whatever. And second, on your question on support system, of course, the husband support is very important. The family support is very important, both the parents' side, okay, the daughters and the daughters and the in-laws side. But if that is not the case, still I would say that if the mother is committed enough, we can help her through this program. And I've got some clients who are single mothers. I've got another client recently who, the in-laws were not in a very good relation, and so she was having very tough time, very non-supportive in-laws, and to add to it, the husband was also not taking any stance, so he was just neutral, which made the situation worse. So she was going through a lot of a depressive state as well. So that is where we pitched in, and so now she's a proud mother of a baby boy, very healthy, and both are doing very well. So what I'm essentially saying is, yes, this program exactly suits, but the only criteria here is, like I said, it's not for everybody. We need the commitment from the mother. because if they cannot help themselves, I cannot help them. So they need to help themselves for me to help them. That is just one criteria. I just want them to show up. Rest I'll take care. So
okay, we are going to end this discussion soon. So before that, I have some different kind of questions. See, this conscious pregnancy and all those things, conscious living, conscious pregnancy, it was there as part of, our gurus would tell and all, but now it has become like a kind of buzzword, manifestation, consciousness and all those things. But conscious pregnancy is something, it is not very, very common till now. So when you reach out to people, right, and make them understand your purpose, or what is that, how it will benefit them, or what is the motive behind your program. So do you face any challenges to to understand their mindset or change their mindset, and make them understand how it can be beneficial to them? You said that it is all about them taking the commitment, right? But then the first approach is, first they should be ready to hear it, right? And then they should be understand
appreciate
it, acknowledge it, appreciate it, what is the need for it, right? And it is not also about everybody. It is about, as you said, it is premium conscious parenting or pregnancy. So does it become a challenge for you to reach out to the people, because now that conscious pregnancy is not so much, so much heard?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, things are changing actually, Meenakshi. I see a lot of people, first of all, becoming very aware in their pregnancy journey. So things are shifting. I see that. That's number one. Number two is, like I said, I get a lot of metaphysical experiences, and you will, it's very interesting. One day I was just in my sadhana, okay, and suddenly I felt that suddenly there was a vision, okay, that there are lakhs and lakhs of small babies all around, I mean, filling this earth, and they're just connected to me from here. So from their heart to my heart, I can see those cosmic connections connecting to me. I cannot explain that. I mean, and then that first it was the baby, just the small baby, and then the connection, millions of babies like that. And then I saw that there are these mothers. I mean, the babies are now in the womb of the mothers, and I can now see the mothers behind them, and the mother's heart is also connected to my heart. So even before perhaps I would reach them, their heart, their soul knows that there is somebody who is waiting out there for them. So I believe in these connections. I believe that there are divine purposes, and these alignments happen in its own way, and this is not forced. You don't need to go and sell somebody something. You don't need to really justify. They would know. Yes, of course, I need to make them aware that yes, I exist and this is where it is. But then people are already there. They will, and I will reach out to them. They will reach out to me. So the connection happens.
So there also manifestation comes in picture, both from both the sides, right? Like if somebody is conceiving and they want guidance, support,
they might be desperately looking, but they don't know something like this
exist. Yeah.
And that is why it becomes my responsibility, duty, like through this podcast we're talking about it, so that more and more people get that awareness. They understand that yes, something of this nature exists,
and then fulfill their dream of bringing a very conscious soul into the earth. And so this is
not just conscious soul, Meenakshi. See, my purpose of life in plain words is to raise the collective consciousness of humanity, and that is very, very ingrained in me. And my purpose is very big. it is much bigger than who I am myself. So it's beyond me. Even after I finish living, it might, some people might continue with it. And with that intention, when I'm doing something, that is where all the difference is. And to your question, that somebody will somewhere, yes, that somebody is, again, it's not manifestation. I mean, the manifestation is one word that you can use, but I think these are alignments. These are alignments by the universe, which happens and just gets into place, at the right time.
Okay. So just I will wrap up our podcast here with the last question. If somebody wants to get into beautiful journey of pregnancy and they are thinking about it, okay, so do you recommend them to go through any kind of spiritual practices or any kind of book so that they kind of know that this conscious programming do exist even before a child is conceived or child is in the womb, or even before the child is brought into this earth? So do you have any such reference to where the young people, young couples especially, can go through and really look up to it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there might be a lot of resources, but I would really recommend the book that I am writing right now. It's called The Power of Womb. It is still not published, so it's in the works. I've been working I've been working on it for the last 2 years now, but I'm still kind of refining and improvising it, so it is going to take a few more months, and I'll let you know once the book is published. But that's a beautiful book which covers the entire aspect of from conception, conscious conception to conscious pregnancy, and the journey of souls basically. And to your question on the conception part, see, the pregnancy doesn't start when you see those pink lines in the pregnancy kit or you have a missed period. It starts in that silent moment when both the the husband and the wife decides that they want to become parent. That thought is the starting point of parenthood. And with this beautiful thought, with this pure pious thought, where they then start their planning process, is what makes the difference. Because then they are aware that yes, we will do anything that is required to make sure that our child has the right beginning. Because these 9 months, like I said, will never return back. So there's no coming back from here. So my suggestion is only not to do it in haste. So pregnancy should never be by chance. It should be always by choice. And take at least 3 to 4 months to plan, to make yourself ready, to make yourself fertile enough, so that the right seed can be sowed and you can then sprout the right seed, and the seed then grows up to a very healthy, very big tree, so that it becomes a very healthy fruit bearing or flower bearing tree. That is the whole purpose, Meenakshi, because tomorrow, imagine if many parents follow this path, the kind of children that will be born into this planet, and all these virtuous and courageous and loving and compassionate, happy. Imagine the world that we will live in. Imagine tomorrow, the generational impact it can bring about. And that is the whole intent when I say that my purpose is to raise the collective consciousness of humanity.
Thank you, Mahua. You have been great. And I think the purpose what you are serving is even greater. So I think my questions will never end, and I might have to come again for another podcast. But thank you for today's all the questions and answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meenakshi. It was lovely interacting with you, sharing my thoughts and perspective. It has been always there. So, we continue this journey, but it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks.